let's talk about what? Subjunctive. What is subjunctive? Anybody can tell me? Subjunctive. What is a subjunctive? What is a subjunctive? You have any idea what a subjunctive is? No? Okay. A subjunctive is a form, look, or we can say a mood of verb used to talk about what? Used to talk about wishes, possibilities, used to talk about imaginations, needs, and what? Wants. So a subjunctive is a form or a mood of verb. It's a form or a mood that a verb takes to talk about what? Imagination, possibilities, wants, hopes, needs. Or we can say possibilities or wishes or imaginations. Okay. Now at that time, what structure do we use? We use subjunctive. Subjunctive is a form of a verb. So that's why that is called the subjunctive. If anybody asks you the definition, you have to say it's a form or a mood of verb that is used to talk about what? Wishes, possibilities, imaginations, okay, and real situations. For example, if I say if I had a car, look, or for wish, if I say I wish I, for example, I wish I had a, for example, a big house, a mansion. Now in this sentence, if I say I wish I had a big house, this structure, look, this is a form of a verb. It talks about the possibility. It talks about my imagination. Or so here it's not real. Or if you say, if for example, if I were a president. In this sentence, if I were a president. Now this structure. If I were a president, what is were here? It's a form. It's a mood of a verb that is used to talk about imagination. Am I a president? So if I were a president. So this is called subjunctive. Subjunctive is a form or a mood of verb that is used to talk about wishes, wants, possibilities, or it is used to talk about possibilities. It means something may happen or may not happen. So we can call this subject wants something, subject wishes something, but it may happen or may not happen. That's called subjunctive. So let's discuss about the kinds of subjunctive. What are subjunctives actually? Here, generally we have present subjunctive. We have what? Present subjunctive, and after that, what do we have? So we have the second one. We have what? Past subjunctive. We have present subjunctive, and we also have what subjunctive? Past subjunctive. Now there are generally two. So sometimes people also use perfect subjunctive, okay, which is not very common. But here we only talk about two subjunctives. What are they? We have the present subjunctive and also past subjunctive. Now, what is a present subjunctive, and when do we use it? A present subjunctive is the structure here. The structure, present subjunctive, we use the base form of the verb, the infinitive form, but the meaning is different. Now, in present subjunctive, the only difference between simple present tense and present subjunctive is that in present subjunctive, what is the thing that we don't use? Look, we do not use to be verbs. We instead of to be verbs, but instead of is, am, are, what do we use here? We always use be. That's point number one in subjunctive. Now, point number two that we don't use. In point number two, we don't use what? Do, does, and date. In negative form, we don't use these things. Okay. And also point number three, we don't use s, es, or ies for what? For he, she, and it. So here, let me write. We actually don't use. These are the things that we don't use. What is the first thing? We don't use is, am, are to be verb. Instead, what do we use? Be. So we don't use do, does, date for the negative form. Instead, what do we use? For the negative form, we use not for negative actually. And instead of s, es, he, for he, actually we don't use anything. We always use the first form of the verb without using anything. Now, these are the differences between present subjunctive and what? Simple present tense. Now, remember, what is the thing we don't use? We don't use to be verbs, is, am, are. And we don't use do, does, date for negative form. What do we use always? Not. And we don't use ses and ies. For he and she and it, the verb does not take what? Ses and ies. Now, this is the point that we have to remember. Let's go and talk about the usages of what? Let's talk about the usages of what subjunctive? The present subjunctive. When do we actually use this subjunctive? So the usages, number one, we use present subjunctive after some what? After some verbs. After verbs. Which verbs? Specific verbs. What are the verbs that we use subjunctive after the? No? So after we use after suggest. After suggest we use after suggest. Propose. Next one. After recommend. Next one. After insist. After request. After ask. After next one, desire, plus what? Plus, for example, that, plus what? Present subjunctive. We use what? Present subjunctive. Now, this is the structure number one. Look. Here, after these verbs, suggest, propose, recommend, insist, request, ask, desire, most of these verbs talk about what? Imaginations. Now, for example, if I say I suggest, let's say the example, I suggest that, for example, I suggest that you, look, I suggest that you study hard. I suggest that you study hard. This is structure, look, suggest is the verb, that you study. What is study here? Study is the subjunctive. What subjunctive is this? Present subjunctive, okay. Or if I say he suggests, look, he suggests that she help him. Now in this sentence, can I use he suggests that she helps him? Is it right? No. I said subjunctive is the form of verb that is just talked about imagination. So what is the difference between simple present tense and present subjunctive? In simple present tense, the action happens. Look, if I say she helps him, look, what is the difference between she helps him and in present subjunctive we don't say she helps him. Now what is the difference? If I say she helps him, it's a simple present tense. It happens, or it's a fact. It's a fact, she helps him. But if I say he suggests that she help him, now it's what he proposes to her, so she may help him or may not. So it doesn't usually happen. So that's why we don't use simple. That's the difference between simple present tense and present what? Present subjunctive. Or if I say we propose that, for example, that Zahra teaches English or teach English. Which one is subjunctive here? Look. After this is the propose is the verb. This is subjunctive. What subjunctive is this? That's present subjunctive. If I say Zahra teaches English, it means it happens. She's a teacher. But if I say we propose, it means we suggest, and we suggest her to teach. But she may teach or may not teach. Okay, it's a possibility. It may happen or may not happen. For example, if I say I request, I request that Saliha, for example, Saliha teach English. What is the meaning of this sentence? Here, if I say it's what I request, but if I say Saliha teaches English, what is the meaning of this sentence? It happens. Yeah, she's a teacher. But if I say I request, it's what I want. She may teach or she may not teach. She may teach. Okay. Now here, this teach. Which one is subjunctive here? Teach. Okay. Or the next one, they insist. They insist that we cooperate with them. Now here, it's what they want. It's what they want from us. Look. They insist that we cooperate with them, but we may cooperate or may not cooperate with them. Or the next one, let's say for example, she asks. She asks that her father, be, for example, be present. Now in this sentence, Which one is subjunctive here? She asked her father be present. Actually, here if I say her father is present, what is the meaning of the sentence is present? If I say is present, it means he is present. But if I say she asks that her father be present, it means she wants that her father be what? Present. Which one is subjunctive here? Be subjunctive. Or the next one, I desire. Look, I desire that for example, I desire that Ali go abroad or goes abroad. Which one? Go. Now, which one is subjunctive here? Go. I said in present subjunctive, what is the thing that we don't use? We don't use ses after the verb, okay? Because it's not a simple present tense. It's what this subject wants, but this one may do it or may not. It's a kind of possibility. Another one, for example, they recommend. Look, they recommend that the students. Look, the students be what? Be on time or are on time. Which one? Which one is subjunctive here? Be. Or next one, for example, you suggest. Look, you suggest that she work, for example, very hard or works very hard. Which one? Work very. Which one is subjunctive here? Work. Subjunctive here is work. So here it's what you suggest, but she may work hard or may not work hard. This is the first usage of what? Subjunctive. Now let's go and talk about the second usage of the subjunctive. Done? Okay. Now the second one, there are some adjectives. After some specific adjectives, we use what? Subjunctive. What subjunctive do we use? We use the present subjunctive. What are the verbs? The second one, after not verb, after some structures and after some adjectives. What are the adjectives? We use it plus, is plus, which adjectives? Important, essential, and we have vital, we have necessary. Next one. It's important, it's essential, it's vital, it's necessary. It's we can say it's a good or bad idea. Or the next one, we can say recommended, or we can say imperative, and or we can say what? Desirable. After that we use what? That. After that we use what? PP. PP is what? Present subjunctive. Now, so after these are the adjectives. And these are the expressions actually. So some of them are expressions, a good idea, bad idea, okay? Recommended is imperative, desirable plus that plus present subjunctive. VP here is not present participle, is what? Present subjunctive. Now here, this to be verb can be it was and it will be, okay? Doesn't matter. After this expression, what subjunctive do we use? We use the present subjunctive. For example, if I say it's important, look, it's important that, look, that you complete the assignments. It's important that you complete the assignments. Now, which one is the subjunctive here? It's important that you complete your assignments. Now, complete here is what? Complete the assignments. So, complete here is the subjunctive. Or next one, it is essential. Look, it's essential that he, look, that he, for example, that he study foreign languages. Now in this sentence, which one is subjunctive? Now here, that he study or studies? So we don't have to say studies. You know, what do we say? That he study, foreign languages. Or next one, it was the past form, we can say. I can also say it was a good idea. Look, it was a good idea that, for example, we have a meeting. It was a good idea that we had a meeting or we have a meeting. So here it can be past, it was, but this subjunctive never changes. It was a good idea that we have a meeting. Or the next one, we can also say it is, for example, it's vital. Look, it's vital that for example, she speak clear English. Now, which one is subjunctive here? This is subjunctive. It's vital that she speak or speaks. We don't have to say speaks. What do we say? Speak. It's vital that she speak clear English. We don't have to say speaks clear English. Or the next one we have. It's also, for example, it's important. Look, it's important that they are or be, that they be present. Subjunctive. Which one is subjunctive? So that they be present. Now I say it's important that you bring your assignments, or that you brought your assignments. Which one? Bring your assignments. It's essential that she clean the house or cleans the house. Clean the house. It's vital that he, help him or helps him. It's necessary that they be, for example, present, or that they are present. They're present. It's good idea that you work hard. It's bad idea that you come late, or that she come late, or that she comes late. She come late, okay? And recommended. Here, not recommend, recommended, okay? Now, this is the second usage of what subjunctive? Of the present subjunctive.
It's important that you should complete this.
Yeah. British English, yes, of course. Now, should I give more examples?
PP means past subject?
No, present subjunctive. No, here. PP, yeah, it's present participle. No, why did I say present? It should be PS, present subjunctive. Now, it's not, it's PS. Don't say postscript, okay? Now, that's present subjunctive.
If this sentence is simple, but it was important.
The subjunctive never changes. Okay, you can say it is important. I say it was important that she come on time. It was important that it's important that she come on time. It will be important that she come on time. Subjunctive never changes. So this expression could be it is, it was, it will be, it has been, it had been, any structure. It will have been, any structure that you want you can use, but we don't have to use what? Yeah. Now the other usage number 3, in fixed expressions we use subjunctive. What expressions? Fixed expressions. Or in supernatural powers. What do we say? Supernatural powers, or we can say fixed expressions. So what are the fixed expressions? The first one, for example, let's talk about God. God bless you. What is the meaning of God bless you? Which one is subjunctive here? So bless, God bless you, this is subjunctive. It means if I say God blesses you, it means it's what God does every day, yeah, for you. But if I want to pray for you, I say God bless you. It means what I want from God for you.
Really, sir?
Yes. So God may do it or may not do it. So that's why, which one is subjunctive here? God bless you. Or if I say, we can say God save you. Or if I say, for example, God, let me say a bad word, God damn you. God damn you. Now, God damn you, it's expression. Look, God damn, it's not damning, okay? It's damn, God damn you. It's not what I want from God for you. It's a bad thing, okay? It's a bad prayer. So God may do it or may not do it, okay? It's what I want.
How many times do you want that?
No, why should I want that? I don't want that, okay? So God damn you, God save you, God bless you, or we can also say, heaven forbade. Look, which one is subjunctive? Heaven is also sky. Look, heaven is also means God. Forbid is subjunctive here. Heaven forbid, or God forbid, or we can also say another expression. So you can say God save the he. What? God save the king. Do we have king? Yeah, Mullah Muhammad Hasan Akhun as a king. God save the king. Okay. Or another expression. You're the king. Okay. Now the other expressions we can say long live. Look, long live. For example, the queen. If you have any queen, do we have any queen? It's an expression. Okay. Long live. What is subjunctive here? Long live. Or we can say long live, for example, Afghanistan. Or the people. Long live the president, okay? So here, which one is subjunctive here? Live, okay? Or we can say rest in peace. And when a person dies, okay, so it means it's what you want from God to make him rest in peace, but he may, or that person who died may rest in peace or may not rest in peace. Okay, it's what you want. Or we can say curse the fog. First, the very bad situation, you can say curse the fog. It's what you want, but it may happen or may not happen. Or we also have come what may. Look, come what may. Look, I will never. Look, I will never leave you. So which one is the structure? This is the expression. It means whatever happens, come what may. Come what may, it means whatever happens, I will be what? With you. Come what may, come what may. You know, it means whatever comes to us, okay? I will not go, I will not leave, I will be here, I will be with you. Or the next one, another expression, if need be. Look, if need be, I will explain again. I will explain again. It means if it's necessary. Look, if need be. Look, which one is subjunctive here? If need be. So if need, actually, this is subjunctive. So this is a fixed expression in these supernatural powers. Okay, God bless you, God save you, God damn you. Okay, what do we use here? We use the present subjunctive. Now, this is how we use subjunctive. Let's go and talk about the other forms of subjunctive. Let's talk about how to change the negative form of subjunctive. And negative of present subjunctive, and also what subjunctive? The negative form or the present participle of subjunctive, present progressive of subjunctive, and the last one, how to make the what form? The passive form of subjunctive. Now, let's go and give examples for that. How can we make the negative subjunctive? Negative. For the negative form, just we use not before what? Just we use not before subjunctive. For example, if I say I propose, look, I propose that he helped me with the project. I propose that he helped me with the project. Now in this sentence, which one is subjunctive? Subjunctive here is help me. And if I want to change it to negative, what should I say? We just have to use not before help. What do we say? I propose that he not help me with the project. Or we can say she asks that. Look, she asked that Ali not come very late. Now negative form. Which one is subjunctive here? This is subjunctive. So we use just not before this subjunctive, and you change it to negative. But remember, guys, do not use do or does. Okay, so we don't use do or does. So we have to not did, actually. Did is used for past. So we don't have to say she asks that Ali doesn't come very late. What do we say? That she not come very late. Or we can say it is vital. No, it is vital that you not be absent. Now which one is subjunctive here? It's vital that you not be absent. That is how we can change it to what? How we can change it to negative. Now how can you change it to present progressive tense? If you want to change it to present progressive tense, what do? We just use not again. In present progressive, what is the structure of present progressive tense? We use to be verb plus verb ing. I am teaching, you are working, she's listening. But here, instead of to be verb, what do we use? We always use be. You know, we always use be. We said it. And we don't use yes, es, s, or I, es. In what? Subjunctive, in present subjunctive. For example, if I say they request that, look, that we be actually repairing the damages. Now, which one is subjunctive here? We can say they request that we be repairing. Now this is structure, be plus verb ing. What structure is this? This is the present progressive subjunctive. What is structure? Present progressive subjunctive. Or next one, he insists that, look, he insists that you be teaching instead of him, for example, him. Now in this sentence, which one is subjunctive here? He insists that you be teaching instead of him. Or I, for example, suggest that they be taking what? Taking notes. Which one is subjunctive here? That they be taking notes. That is how we can change it to negative form, and how we can change it to what? How we can change it to present progressive tense. Now let's go and talk about how to change it to passive. In passive structure, what is the passive structure? For the passive, we use be plus what? Past participle. Past participle. Now if I use be plus past participle, it becomes, what structure is that? That is called the passive form of subjunctive. Just a minute. Not good at catching photos. You're not good at catching photos. Now, really? Sure? Good. Yes, I saw the photos. Yeah, you're very good at that. Now, be plus past participle. Instead of is, am, are, what do we say here? Be. For example, if I say it is vital. Look, it's vital that the books be kept safe. It's vital that the books be kept what? Safe. Which one is subjunctive here? Now this is the passive subjunctive. Present passive subjunctive. Here, which one is structure? Be plus what? Third form of the verb. Or next one, it was important. Look, it was important that the house be what? Cleaned. It was important that the house be what? Cleaned. Which one is the passive structure? Be cleaned. And instead of is cleaned, what do we say? Or he suggested, past form. He suggested that the door be what? Be shut. Now here, which one is subjunctive here? The door be shut. She asked that the chairs be what? Be repaired. Which one is subjunctive here? The chairs be repaired. Now this is called, what subjunctive is that? That is the passive form of present subjunctive. So we are almost done. We are done with what subjunctive? Present subjunctive. Let's go and talk about what subjunctive? Past subjunctive. Now, let's talk about past subjunctive. I'll just write here subjunctive, and we write about what? Past subjunctive. What is a past subjunctive? Look, the structure of past subjunctive and simple past is the same. The structures actually are not different. The meaning is different. So here in the structures are the same. We can say we use date. We can use negative form. We can use the same structures. For past subjunctive, you also use which form of the verb? We use the second form of the verb. So what is the difference between past subjunctive and simple past? Simple past, action is started and finished. It's a fact. But in past subjunctive, we mostly talk about wishes, imagination, possibilities. What are the usages? The first usage, we use past subjunctive after what? As after, we can say as if, and after what? As though. So after as if and as though, what do we use? We use what subjunctive? Past subjunctive. That's the first usage. For example, write the examples here. I can say, look, I can say you speak English as if what? We know we studied this in, when do we study this? In a verb clausal manner. Okay, so I can say you speak English as if you, for example, as if you came from, for example, the US. Which one is subjunctive here? Now this is the past subjunctive. Look, after as if and as though. Look, as if is the conjunction. After that, what do we use here? Past subjunctive. As if you come or as if you came. Now, is it real or it talks about imagination? Okay, it's imagination. It's how you speak. It's called adverb of what? It's also called adverb of manner. It's how you speak. Look. Or if I say she, look, she talks to, look, she talks to people. She talks to people as if or as though. How? How does she talk to people? Huh? As though she actually, she, for example, she were what? Their boss. Now here we can also use was, but were is what? Formal. Listen up. She talks to people as though she were or she was their boss. Were, mostly were. Which one is subjunctive here? Were. Okay. Or the next one, they, for example, they behave. Look, behave as if they what? As if they, for example, as if they owned the what? The company. Which one is subjunctive here? As if they own or owned the company. So we use, I said we use the second form of the word, but the difference is in what? In meaning. So here they behave how, they talk, she talks how, and you speak what? How. After as if and as though, we use what subjunctive? Present subjunctive. Or for example, if I say you write as if or as though, how do you write? As though you, for example, you wrote many books. Now you actually write as though you wrote many books. Which one is subjunctive here? You can also use the negative form. Didn't, for example. Now the next one, number 2, we can also use if subjunctive, past subjunctive after which structures? We can also use an if clause. You know, if clause after if clause, conditional type what? Past participle, not past participle, past subjunctive. If you remember conditional type 2, yeah? In conditional type 2 after if clause here we use what subjunctive? Past subjunctive. Let's write the examples here. For example, if you, for example, if you had a lot of money, okay? If you had a lot of money, you would, listen up, you would build a spaceship. Now in this sentence, which one is the subjunctive here? Now, in conditional type 2, if you had a lot of money. Now, do you have a lot of money? So we said that conditional type 2 shows or talks about and present and real what? Situations. Imagination in the present tense. If you had a lot of money, do you have a lot of money? Now here, this is subjunctive. But if you say he had a lot of money, it's what? Simple past. It means he had a lot of money in the past. Action happened. But here if I say if you had a lot of money, it's what? Imagination. Or the next one, if she were, look, if she were a president, if she were a president, she would actually unite all the nations in Afghanistan. Now here, is she a president? If she were a president, which one is subjunctive here? If she were. For the negative form, we can say if he did not, look, if he did not play well, he would what? Lose the what? The match. Which one is subjunctive here? If he did not play well, he would lose the match. Subjunctive, which one is subjunctive here? Not play well. Now this is the other one. The other structure, number 3, after what? We can also use present subjunctive, past subjunctive, sorry. Past subjunctive in which clause? After which we can also use what? Past subjunctive when we talk about what wish? When we talk about what? Level 5 is studied when we talk about present wish. If you talk about present wish, what structure do we use? We said that wish plus past. We say simple past. Okay, now we don't have to say simple past. What do we say? Past subjunctive. For example, let me write the examples. We have enough space here. You say, I wish, look, I wish I had a car. Which one is subjunctive here? Or the next one, she wishes, look, she wishes she bought that apartment. Which one is subjunctive here? She wishes she bought that apartment. Now the structure here, she bought that apartment, is what subjunctive? Present subjunctive. Past subjunctive, sorry. Or you wish, look, you wish he actually, wish he, we can say brought your car. Which one is subjunctive here? Subjunctive here, you brought. What do you wish right now? Huh? So we wish, look, we wish the Taliban, look, the Taliban actually weren't here. Which one is subjunctive here? We wish the Taliban weren't here, but they are here. So, or the next one, she wished, for unfortunately, no. She wished, for example, she didn't, look, she wished she didn't lose her, what? Her phone. Which one is subjunctive here? Look, she wished she did not lose her phone. What subjunctive is that? It's past subjunctive. Now, there are the usages of subjunctive and past subjunctive. Let's go and talk about the other usage. Is number 4 in would rather. Look, after would rather or what? Sooner. When we have two subjects, the first subject, then this is the second subject. After that, what structure do we use? We use past subjunctive. Now, yes, of course. I wish you had a car. I wish I had. It doesn't matter any structure you use. So, the next structure, we can also use a wish clause in would rather or would sooner. We discussed in would rather, would sooner. How many structures do we have? There are 4 structures. Now, one of which is would rather, would sooner when we have two what? Subjects. For example, if I say they, look, they would rather I teach them or I taught them. Subjunctive, which one is subjunctive? No? This is the first subjunctive. After would rather here, which subjunctive do we use? What? Past subjunctive. Or the next one, I would sooner he actually moved to the US. Which one is subjunctive here? I would sooner he moved. Move or moved? Subjunctive, which one is subjunctive? Huh? Or for example, we would rather, look, we would rather the Taliban, look, we'd rather the Taliban didn't what? Didn't check our what? Houses. Which one is subjunctive here? We would rather the Taliban checked or didn't check our houses. So the first subject and the subject, second subject. I would sooner, look, I would sooner, for example, let's see another one. I would sooner Arzu, look, Arzu, for example, called you. Subjunctive, which one is subjunctive here? Called. Now, I would sooner, for example, you cleaned the class. Cleaned the class. Okay. Now remember, after would sooner, would rather, when we have two subjects, after that we use what? Past subjunctive. The next one, number 5, we can also use past subjunctive after what? Time. It is time. After that we use what subjunctive? Past subjunctive. Now here in this structure, look, if I say it is time, this, it is, it could be, it was, and it will be. It can be past, present, or future. Now, what is the difference? If I say it is time, we have two structures. Now, if I say, look, it is time, look, it is time to go out. It is time to go out. And if I say, it is time, look, after this time we use, it is time we went out. Now, if I say it is time to go out, it means it's exactly the time to go out. If you use full infinitive after this time, what does it show? It shows that it's the time, exact time. But if I say it is time plus subject plus what? Past subjunctive. PS. Past subjunctive. What does it show? It means it's a little late. Huh? Or we can say it's what? It's late to go. It's on time, but it's what? Late to go. If it's late to go out, we can say what? It is time we went. If you brought your diaries late and then I say it is time, look, it is time you brought your what? You brought your diaries. What is the meaning of this sentence? It's time you brought your diaries, huh? It means it is late that you brought your diaries. Subjunctive, which one is subjunctive? You brought, huh? Or for past form, we can say it was time, look, it was time she called, for example, me. Which one is subjunctive? So it was time she called, or she calls, or she called. Which one? She called me. What is the meaning of this sentence? It was time she called me. Huh? It means it was late. Huh? Or the next one. It is. Listen up. It is time. Look. It is time we moved. We moved abroad. What is the meaning of it is time we moved abroad? It means it's time that we move. It's late. It's late, okay? So remember, after it's time, what do we use here? We use what? Past subjunctive. Now, the next usage is number 6. After suppose, we use what? Past subjunctive. Suppose, what is the meaning of suppose? Suppose means what? Presume. When you assume, so at that time we use what? Suppose. Sometimes after suppose we use past subjunctive. Now, it is time we what?
Is it?
Yeah. For the question form, we can say, is it time we went home? It means, is it late to go home? Okay. Next one, after suppose. Suppose at the beginning, we can say, suppose you, for example, you were, suppose you were a head or a president. Let's say, suppose you were a president. So, what will you do? What will you do? Which one is subjunctive here? So it's assumed you were. It means just imagine that you were a president. You know? Suppose you were a president means what? Imagined. Or the next one we can say suppose. Look, suppose he for example he spoke Chinese. So will she help us? Which one is subjunctive? Huh? Suppose suppose she, will she help us? Suppose she spoke what? Chinese. Or the next one, suppose, okay, suppose you, for example, you were in the US. Look, suppose you were in the US. Okay, suppose you're in the US, for example, how will you feel? Huh? How would you feel? Now, which one is subjunctive here? This is suppose you were in the US. Suppose you finished English. Suppose you wrote a book. Huh? Suppose you were an actor. Huh? Here, after suppose, what subjunctive do we use? We use what? Past subjunctive.